This Pioneer Field Agronomist Scott Eversgerd with the week of May 8th agronomy update. So as we get back into the fields this week and begin to evaluate some of our potential corn stands, it's important just to keep note of a couple things. The cool weather that we have experienced over the last week or so for a few days, all in all, it's not been an extremely bad deal. While the emerged corn definitely needs some heat and needs to get going, a little bit cooler temps have probably given some of this corn that was planted and pounded in, probably given it a little bit of a chance. So temperatures have stayed down, the soil has cooled off a little bit. The seed's not going to rot quite as fast when the temperatures cool down, and the germination process may be able to kick in and actually establish a stand. So just remember, as you're evaluating those stands, as long as the plant's viable, as long as you're seeing green tissue, you're seeing it move, it's going to be important to be in these fields probably several times. One visit definitely probably not going to get you where you need to get to. As you think about populations, the population by planting date interaction definitely comes into play here. So if we get an April 18th planting date and we end up with a 23,000 stand, that could be definitely better leaving that than, say, destroying that on the 15th or 16th of May and ending up with even 29,000. So definitely evaluate that. Trouble is, typically in a cornfield, we don't see an even 23,000. It's pockets and things like that. So again, each field will need to be judged individually. As we look at the corn that was emerged, definitely seeing some slow growth there with all the waterlogged soils. Corn just not getting that dark green color yet. Really hadn't transitioned to its root system. That won't happen until about V3 or so. But even then, the corn's got a little bit of a translucent light green color. I think with some sunshine, you're going to see that emerged corn turn around and likely head in a good direction. One thing to be mindful of, if you still need to make a post application to this emerged corn, give it a few days to recover. Definitely wouldn't want to see any herbicides being sprayed on some of this corn. It's kind of sitting there, waterlogged soil, starting to dry out a little bit, but the corn is stressed, and the last thing we want to do is make it metabolize a herbicide as it's being stressed. Give it a little bit, let it get the color to it, and then hopefully we'll be able to continue with those post-herbicide applications. We continue to hear a lot about the black cutworm and armyworm moth catches. Definitely the moth catches are high. Indiana's reporting it, Missouri's reporting it, some in Illinois as well. So we know the moth catches are high. So we do expect at some point to see some pressure out of those pests. Necessarily have not seen it yet, but still at some point here expect some of that to come, and we'll let you know when we start to see that. As you think about the wheat crop, if anything, the cooler temps have been good for that, as a lot of this wheat crop now is well into the grain fill stage. As you look at history, tells us that that's probably one of the biggest factors in limiting some of our wheat yields is high temperatures at grain fill, which we typically get. But this year with the cooler temps at grain fill, we could definitely add some yield back into the wheat from that standpoint. So that's definitely a good thing, helping out the wheat crop. And as we do get into latter May and start seeding soybeans again one of these days when it does dry out, definitely start looking at your seeding rate on beans. We're likely obviously not going to be in the first week of May again when we start seeding beans. So we need to be mindful of our populations and know that the later we get, the thicker we need to plant them. So, as always, if you have any other questions, please contact your local Pioneer sales rep. Thanks.